Good afternoon, I'm Malcolm Jordan and this is your Midday News Fix for Tuesday the 18th of February. The Prime Minister's opening the door to closing the door of some government agencies. Public Service Commissioner Sir Brian Roach is considering the idea of cutting whole departments and bringing others together. Christopher Luxon says he wants more efficiency in the public sector. He's told Mike Hosking we probably have too many government agencies and he's open to axing some.
May well be the case. I think, where we've got a lot of small agencies that lack scale, there's probably too many of them at times. I want every agency really focused on what its core business actually is.
Meanwhile, Newstalk ZB can reveal MB has cut its spending with the big four consulting firms by 63% in just a year. Finance Minister Nicola Willis says they want ongoing restraint.
Part of this is also about building the long-term capability of our own public servants. They should be, in the first instance, who the government gets advice from. That's what they're hired for.
The government's committing $14 million to getting Auckland City Hospital new pipes. Newstalk ZB revealed the hospital had plumbing issues last month, which meant hot water wasn't available throughout the main adult building for many hours. Jordan Dunn has more.
Health Minister Simeon Brown says it's vitally important to address the issue at the country's busiest hospital. He says the current plumbing is more than 20 years old and in poor condition. Brown says access to hot water in hospital is a basic necessity for patients and staff and for day-to-day running of clinical services.
A plane has crashed on landing at Canada's Toronto Pearson Airport. The Delta plane has flipped upside down on a snowy runway. Up to 15 passengers are injured, 3 critically, but all are accounted for. CNN's Richard Quest says it could have been a lot worse.
The hull and the fuselage remains intact, that there isn't a dangerous leak of fuel.
A conservation group's welcoming a funding boost, but says there needs to be more where it came from. The government's announced a $30 million funding package shared between upgrading popular tourist locations and improving biodiversity. $19 million will be spent on fighting predators and invasive plants like wallabies and wild pines. Forest and Bird Policy and Advocacy General Manager Richard Cappy says while this is great news, in the bigger picture there's still a big funding shortfall.
What we really need is a big step up in the amount of investment that's going in, because this stuff's so critical for us, right? It's a big part of our national identity.
Leaders appear fearful about the future of Ukraine and Europe. The US is pushing ahead on peace talks with Russia, but leaving Ukraine and the EU out of their conversations. European and NATO leaders scrambled overnight to hold an emergency summit in Paris to discuss their position. The BBC's Katja Adler says Europe has concerns Russia and the US are moving too quickly.
If Vladimir Putin emerges bullish from peace talks with Donald Trump, he could then turn his attention elsewhere.
To sport. More good news for fans of the Auckland FC Football Club. They've announced that captain Hiroki Sakai has signed a 1-year contract extension, keeping him at the Black Knights until the end of the 2025-26 season. Tiger Woods claims ongoing talks between the PGA and LIV golf circuits mean a resolution is likely this year. Returning American President Donald Trump has been involved in the dialogue. I'm Malcolm Jordan. That's your latest news fix. We'll be back with the next update at 5 p.m. from the Newstalk ZB newsroom.